FPUC, that $600 from the federal government, is getting extended but at a new number. But how long is it getting extended? Hey everybody, this is LALATE with a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for today with great exciting news about FPUC, which was that $600 per week that went on top of UI and PUA benefits under the first stimulus package, but now is going to get extended in a different way. This video is really going to go through what a lot of people are not grasping, that the Republican proposal for FPUC is not just $200 a week, but actually far worse. Boy, yesterday, if you missed it, the Republicans debut what they call the HEALS Act, the Heroes and the Heels. The Heroes propose to extend FPUC $600 from the federal government enacted under the CARES Act, the first stimulus package at $600 a week. They propose to extend that all the way to January, still at $600 all the way into January of next year. And then came the Republicans, who really were being dragged by news reporters over the last few weeks about what they're going to do with it. They initially said nothing. Then they said, well, maybe we'll do something, but not so long. Then they'll say they'll do $100 a week. Finally, Steve Mnuchin over the weekend said, we have a calculation of 70%, but we're not going to tell you what 70% of what. And we'll debut it on Monday. Well, it came out yesterday. And initially, some news reporters who really butchered every story on this subject this entire month said that the Republicans' proposal is $200 a week into next year. No, it's not. I have it in front of me. It's not. It's literally $200 till 4 weeks for just the month of August. Let me go through why this Republican proposal is crap. I'm not partisan. I'm just telling you it's a crap bill. It is literally a crappy damn bill. The proposal is for FPUC is the following from the Republicans. $200 a week until September 1st. Now, let's sit back. Okay, we would see this in the best case scenario, and I'll be detailing that in a few minutes, early August, this bill being passed. So the Republicans are saying 4 weeks of $200 a week, which is, you can do the math, 4 times 2 is $800. They're going to give you $800 of FPUC for the month of August. Well, what happens in September 1st, LALATE? Hell shits the fan, literally. This is the part that no one is really grasping. The way this really, really screwy, unclear, and abhorrent FPUC provision from the Republicans is written says that if states don't want to pay you anything for FPUC starting September 1st, which is a different period under the Republican bill, then they can apply to the federal government for a waiver to not pay FPUC, and the Treasury can grant it. Yes. So the way this bill is written, states can, on September 1, say, hey, we don't feel like paying that any additional $200 a week to our citizens. Can we just not pay that? And Treasury can say, sure, yeah, okay. So the Democrats on one side are paying you $600 a week all the way to January of next year, but the Republicans have set it up now that you get $200 for just 4 weeks, and then after that you're screwed. You get nothing. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is a crappy bill. This is what has happened here. And I'm going to be very frank. I'm not going to piss around the corner with you on this. What's happened here is that the Republicans saw the news reporters really hammering them on FPUC for a few weeks, and they said, we have to do something with FPUC. And so they have literally just thrown a few dollars at FPUC and said, hey, yeah, we're extending it. Well, we're extending for 4 weeks, but just don't tell anyone that. And it's $200. Oh, that's a lot of money, but just, it's only $800, where the Democrats are giving you, the rest of this year of protection, which is not. Now, there's a lot more to that, and it actually gets worse. So let me go through how you're like, oh, geez, we're only 4 minutes of this video, and this video is just imploding already. Yeah, it gets worse. But I'm here to tell you what's good and what's bad. Now, I want you to understand before I get to the worst scenario. It's like, okay, we're at the amusement park. We're about to go down the hill and crash into the water below. Before we get to that, let me tell you something. This is just a bill. It's not a law. It's a proposal. It's like a bad marriage proposal where you say no thank you within like the first minute. Like, why did that person ask me to marry them? I just don't like them. That's where we really are. You have the Democrats, I had the wrong hand, the Democrats and the Republicans with two proposals. The way the law works is you have to have a bill passed by both houses of Congress, the House and the Senate. You don't get a law by just passing the Senate, and you don't get a law just by passing the House. It has to be passed by both. Now, if two bills are conflicting, which they are, and are merged together, which they can be, then that bill then has to go before both parts of Congress and get approval. Where are we now? Well, the HEALS Act was just introduced yesterday to the Senate, introduced to the Senate. It has not been approved by the Senate and has absolutely not been approved by the House because it hasn't even got to the House. The HEROES Act has been approved by the House and is in the Senate. So, in a way, the Democrats are half done. The Republicans haven't even started. So I don't want you to worry as we sit here and say, this thing is ridiculous. Well, we're not at that yet. So let me tell you the even worse bad news. Okay, the worst bad news is what happens in September 1st under the HEALS Act, which is I can't even. If I lose you here, just admit that I lost you because I'm gonna lose you. It's incoherent. It is literally incoherent. So I'm gonna try to explain to you something that's incoherent. Here we go. Measuring 70% wage in police will present quite serious administrative challenges for states, since in many cases they don't have a good measure of a person's average earnings based upon the previous years. What? Okay, next part. We're not the IRS. We don't have your taxes. We don't know what you made last year, says Mark Butler, Georgia's publicly elected labor commissioner. Our staff is based upon getting you laid off to a particular employer and then reporting to us what your wages are. Well, that one's a little clear. He's basically saying, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Next one. I would guess that states would have to go through hoops to get information on this. Another person say, I don't know what's going on. So let me explain to you what Steve Mnuchin is trying to give everyone a really bad headache over. On September 1st, the Republicans proposed that states will pay you a certain amount of money, up to $500 or something, based upon 70% of your 2019 earnings. You're not going to follow me on this, trust me. Well, the states have already come out and said, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. We have no access to this information. We have no way to verify this information. We can't do these calculations. Steve Mnuchin is basically saying that you're not going to get FPUC starting September 1st unless states can make this incredibly difficult calculation based upon data which they don't have. So the bottom line is you're not getting it under the Republicans. And Steve Mnuchin, and the bill says that if they can't make this incredibly difficult calculation, then they can just get a waiver and not pay it overall. Yeah, so really, it's just crazy. You're asking states to do something on September 1st, which they won't be able to do. Here are 3 quotes already. I'm not going to read all the rest of the quotes. They say they can't do it, and ultimately they can't do it. They can't pay you any money starting September 1st for FPUC. They won't, and the bill says that they can't, they don't have to. Yeah, really? It's a crappy bill. It's a crappy bill. Bottom line is Democrats give you $600 a week into January 21, and Republicans really are giving you $200 for 4 weeks, and that is it. So where do we sit with this? Well, first I want you to understand where your unemployment claim is currently, which is so important. No one's helping you with this, and I'm trying to help you with this right now. If you are on unemployment benefits, whether it's UI or PUA, those are currently continuing. provided you're still within the number of weeks in which you are. So UI, you have your normal number of UI benefits when you're under your state law normally. Then those number of weeks were extended under the first CARES Act. You still have enough weeks for that. Then you have extended state benefits for UI going forward. So you are still on UI and you still have enough weeks for UI benefits. That's the UI money. This is not the FPUC money that goes on top of UI. PUA, also great news. If you're on PUA, you still have PUA benefits on a weekly basis, and you have a lot of weeks of PUA still around. That is not $600 a week. $600 a week goes on top of PUA. So my UI and PUA viewers, you're still going to get your benefits. You're just not going to get $600 currently from anyone because these two bills are very far apart. So when would you next see more money? Hell, okay, I got all this. This is very screwy. When am I seeing more money? Bottom line is hard to say. The Democrats and the Republicans have something very, very important to do starting next Friday. It's more important than you being evicted from your house and you not being able to pay electricity or gas or you able to put food on your table. They have to go on a vacation. Yes, so please don't interrupt their vacation. They have to go on a vacation. And so because of that, if they don't pass their second stimulus package, well, guess what? You're screwed. Yeah, that's literally how they are operating. So come next Friday, what's going to happen? This is the part that I'm worried about, but also positive for you. The positive part, which is the silver lining part of it, is that no one is going to be rushing to roll over and do a crappy bill because ultimately if they don't pass it, it's still on the table at $600 a week. The bad part of it is the following. That come August 8th or August 9th, if this is not approved, you're not seeing any additional supplement, whether it's $200 or $600 per week, coming to you anytime soon. Yes. Nancy Pelosi says she'll keep her House in session to get the bill done after August 8th or August 9th. The members of her House have not agreed to that. She just said that out of her own choice. Mitch and the Senate, which, have to go on vacation, they have the pressing vacation to do. He has not said he's going to keep his Senate in session. So you literally have 9-something days or so to get this done. And these two groups are so far apart, the heels and the heroes, that if they don't get the stimulus package approved by the end of not this Friday, but the Friday after that, no supplement of FPUC is going out. So very, very, very discouraging. Ultimately, what I want you to be informed and educated about is FPUC is not dead. FPUC will get revitalized. How long it will get revitalized? How many months? Negotiating right now. How much money being negotiated right now? And what are parties going to be negotiating over? That's where this channel is going to be over the next 10 days. I will be updating you as Republicans and Democrats come out and say, I'm not negotiating on this, I am negotiating on that. I will update you as we see movement from either side. As to FPUC, we currently have the following, that the Democrats say it is not negotiable. They will not negotiate on $600 per week. The Republicans have not said anything about it one way or other. Unfortunately, we're pretty far apart right now, although I'm optimistic we can have a good solution at the end. Schumer said Tuesday morning on CBS. There's more to it. Elon Musk, who I really don't care what he says, the head of Tesla, and that, drilling under the ground. He wanted to drill under the ground and put holes in LA to transport us miraculously under freeways. It was the most insane idea, and of course it was thrown out within 10 seconds. He says another government stimulus package is not in the best interest of the people. Shut up, Elon. Shut up. Please shut up. He says it's jam-packed with stuff. If we do a stimulus, it should be direct deposits to the consumers. Well, hello, we know that. Thank you, Captain Obvious. But here's the problem. Sarah Bianchi, who's head of the U.S. Policy and Political Research Group at Everscore ISI, says two-thirds of unemployed workers who are receiving UI benefits greater than their prior work wages, which is what Steve Mnuchin is really having an issue about, there's no evidence that of negative impact of overcompensating them. But there's indication that if you undercompensate them under a new reduced FPUC, it could cause financial calamity. We have locations which haven't even opened up, says Robert Maynard. So he's the CEO of famous Toastery restaurant franchise, which has 23 locations. And he says, I just don't have places to give people jobs because we're not opening up. So ultimately, the issue is the Republicans really don't have their mindset right. Inside that bill was a provision to give 100% of meals tax deductible to the end of the year. Of course, if you don't have a job, are you going out for dinner every year? And why are we giving more breaks to restaurants when the vast majority of restaurants are still shut down or will be shut down further as the pandemic extends? It shows a real lack of understanding of the severity of the situation. But ultimately, I want you to stay informed and educated and smiling and positive because we have a lot of ways to go. This is going to twist and turn over the next 10 days. You're going to hear a lot of yes and no and no and yes. These are proposals. They aren't law. But I'm here. You're here. We're not going on vacation. We're hopefully going to see a bill and a law coming soon. As always, stay with LALATE and see you tomorrow morning on Mornings with LALATE.